Hey, yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to yet another Red live stream exclusively on YouTube, at least at the moment. Welcome in, people. I hope you're having a great day. Also, that's a new thing I want to try. If there is some sort of a super on this screen, or before the stream even starts officially, with the you get a lizard. That's right. Only on a YouTube live stream. Very important stuff. Gotta get the lizards moving in the chat. But I hope you guys are doing very well. Now, of course, if you're a regular, you know what's coming next. But if you're new, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, we do a little attendance. We do a little roll call on this stream, ladies and gentlemen. So, if you are a sentient human being and not a beep-boop robot, please let it be known. If you can hear my voice, say something in the chat. Anything, whatever your heart desires. That lizard, you know what? I'll accept it. I'll accept it. Bat trumps lizard. Yeah, from an evolutionary standpoint, from a food chain perspective, yeah, I guess you're right. Also, while you're up and at 'em, fully sentient, make sure to like the stream. Make sure to sub if you're not already. And if you're a mad lad, become a member. If you're a Sigma lad, you can always gift memberships as well. And, of course, help out towards the daily Super Chat goal, which is going to be a members-only stream this week. Some more WoW, which was a great time last week. But I figure we'll get something to push towards today. So with your teals, I believe that's the right color, you are heading in the right direction. Pineapple on pizza sucks. It's alright. It's eh. Starmer is out, that's right. He is out of here. Very good news. What a disaster. I was pushing my way through the Asmongold coverage of the Rape Gang Inquiry. That is head spinning. 6-7 hours. Oh my gosh. I didn't do that on purpose. It's about 7 hours of coverage, and it's diabolical. I still got a long way to go to get through that. Be mature in the chat. I did the dreaded numbers. My bad. I instantly recoiled in disgust for what I did. What am I, Straub? Terrible. Terrible stuff. But here's my face, ladies and gentlemen. In the flesh, in the pixels. What's good? I just hope the guy who replaces Stalin isn't worse. I mean, how much worse could it get? But what is that, their 7th in the last 10 years? Diabolical. Very unfortunate. Yo, and Sayuki with the 2 saying, alright, I kick off the goal. Define normal. Well, normal by their standards. That's right. But you came back with the 5 as well, saying skill issue. It said teal. That's the color. Thank you very much for that. The clarification, of course, to help out the goal. I appreciate it. You have been redeemed. Yo, and then we got 5 more from Sayuki saying, always play your videos while I take my parking lot nap before work. That is a good use of your time. That is a good way to basically burn time, whether you're waiting for work or at work. Apparently, a lot of you guys are at work watching my videos and streams. So if that's you, let it be known in the chat. Just make sure your employer's not here. That's all. Just make sure the employer's not in the chat. And if they are, they're probably pretty based, so they'll understand. Yo, and Paul, thank you for the extension of your membership at Giga Revling for 3 months, saying, I hope and pray that we win the World Cup and keep beating these other countries, especially Canada. You hear that, Canadians? You hear that? Well, we're looking real good right now, I have to say. It's looking real good. America. We're going to call it soccer pretty soon. Yo, and 07's in the chat for Phantom with the 5 gifted memberships. Hey, yo. W Gifter, thank you so much, Phantom. I appreciate that. We got 5 new Revlings who appreciate it as well. I swear, guys, we have been between 900 and just short of 1,000 members for like 2 weeks. We've been in this little slot for a while now. Will we break through? I believe. USA, USA. That's what I'm feeling right now. We gotta beat the Europeans at their game. Absolutely. Yo, and Miyasu with the Giga Revling membership. Thank you very much, Mia. I hope you're doing well. Keep fighting the good fight. I appreciate it very much. Everyone say hello to Mia. Yo, and 07's in the chat. Big ones. For Busey Breaker with the 20 gifted memberships. Thank you very much for the 20 gifted. We're getting close to road to 1,000. Yo, and Billy Donuts, what's good? Giving people the donuts they deserve. But yeah, welcome in, everyone. Thank you for the 20 gifted memberships, dude. I really appreciate that. Lip smack. I do that subconsciously. I can't even help it. You just gotta deal with it, chat. It is what it is. But thank you, guys. Hope you're doing so well today. And Pixel with the 20,000 something. But you know what it is? I appreciate it. Whatever currency that is, I'm not familiar with that one. We're bringing in a new one today. Much appreciated. And I also appreciate that you and your fiance love the videos. Love that for you guys. That's bonding right there. Watching a Rev video together. Thank you, thank you. And running the train with the 5 saying, did someone badmouth pineapple on pizza? How dare you? The only thing better is anchovies on pizza. Now, you're going to have to get banned for that one. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. That's the end of the road right there. That's just heinous. Pineapple on pizza, I can have it. But anchovies? What is this, that I don't know if it was just an episode or a whole, like, arc on Futurama with those anchovies Fry was trying to get. Yo, and Robin, thank you for the 5, saying it's 97 degrees in DFW. Feeling like 110 degrees right now. I'm at end game tomorrow mid-workday. It's been hot here, too. It's bad knowing there's like 3 more months at least of this. And this room, as you guys know, gets hot, especially when I stream. I got my little microwave down here. It's rough. I can't lie. Jalapenos on pizza, that's good. That's good. Hey, I just got here as Rev said desu. There you go. Can only get that live, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, and Benjamin with the 5 saying, as long as Idris Elba is capable of making cheesy puns before offing henchmen and smacking women before forcing himself upon them, he can be Bond. My goodness. Yeah, where that's all going, who knows, but thank you for the 5. And Shinji with the 5 as well, saying, hopefully I'm not too late to stream, just on my first break from my shift. That's right. We're keeping people entertained in the workforce. We're making America, actually the whole world, go round. That's what we're doing here on this channel. Yo, and Claw with the 5, Eruski Buck saying, my father's wisdom. The bottom of the barrel is virtual. His way of saying things can and always will get worse. As a Brazilian, I completely agree. And yeah, you gotta understand, life is always gonna throw more curveballs your way. Dude, it's burning here in Florida. I can't even imagine. That would be torturous. Do you not stream on Twitch? I used to. But, not a big fan of Twitch these days. And honestly, ever since I've been streaming on YouTube, it's been a blast. It's been a blast. Yo, and Team Time with the 5 saying, Sonic says, insert radical leftist propaganda. No, Sonic says nothing because he's a fictional character who doesn't exist. The amount of people who need validation from a fictional character and will treat you like garbage for disagreeing with them or calling them delusional for doing that it's too dang high. Ladies and gentlemen. What else do we got here? Let's see. Scrolling through all those memberships, you'll love to see it. And Pixel with the additional 20,000 saying, me and my fiance form VN. Love your videos. I appreciate that very much. Mr. International here. I'm assuming from. Mr. International. Hello, everyone. Hope the day's been alright so far for y'all. My day's been pretty good. I feel like I'm getting a second wind right now. I was like so tired most of the day. You can ask Straub, I did not want to get up this morning. My alarm was set for like 7:15, and I hit snooze like 5 times in a row. It was Vietnam. There we go. Okay. I was going to say Venezuela when I saw VN, but Vietnam. See? Mr. International over here. But thank you for the super. But yeah, I got a second win now. Just in time for you guys. That's right. All for you. Hopefully this white girl, Alani, will work and continue to do its magic for me. It feels nice being able to say when I'm drinking when it's an energy drink. That's one positive that came out of that situation. That dreaded situation. Yo, and Benjamin with the 5 saying, are you familiar with the tragedy of Darth Boogie the Wide? It's not a tale the Jedi will tell you. I have not heard of that. It sounds interesting for sure. But thank you very much for the 5. Guys, look who it is. It's the Strawbinator.
The Strawbinator, wow.
Yeah, you're special.
That's a name.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then Ibex with a 5, CHF saying peas, mashed potato, eggplant, and ranch sauce pizza. I like all of the above. It all sounds great. Everyone say hi, wife.
Hi.
As she plays Yo World again. It's a problem.
Stop exposing me.
It's consumed her entirely. But thank you guys for all of the supers. We're already 10 out of 15 for today's super chat goal, which is of course for a members only stream. Not sure which day this week, but soon. More WoW, more hardcore classic WoW, because I've been gaming too. Got a couple more levels in. I'm putting the work in off stream. I know. That's the sacrifice I do for you guys. I put in the extra hours to keep playing World of Warcraft off stream.
He puts in those hours, chat.
Putting them in. But we'll get started in just a minute. We're going to talk about the Sonic stuff again. Just to recap what we talked about in today's video. Then we're going to watch a very great video from a member of our own community, Phantom. Made a banger music video. Saw it yesterday quickly. Definitely got to react to it on stream. And then we'll watch that Anita Sarkeesian video that we were supposed to last time. We just ran out of time on Saturday. And then some Pragmata discourse. It's still going. And some more Stellar Blade discourse. That's still going too. It just never ends, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I'm thinking, what are we going to do about the Saturday showdown? Is it really going to be Nico Yazawa versus Marin Kitagawa? And I just realized those names rhyme. Yeah, WoW means World of Warcraft.
Do they rhyme?
Nico Yazawa, Marin Kitagawa. Wah.
It doesn't rhyme. It doesn't
Yazawa,
rhyme if it's the exact-
Kitagawa.
I don't think it rhymes if it's the exact same ending.
Yeah, tell that to rappers. I won't say what word they rhyme together all the time.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Wait, Sonic isn't real? Oh no, Knuckles are real though, aren't they? Listen, Sonic is real and he says trans rights. And if you disagree with that, gulag. Gulag immediately. You know, and Corbin with the 5, saying just started an Elden Ring playthrough. Never played it though. Also, I just spelled lizard on your live announcement in Discord. That is a great use of your free will. I appreciate that. Thank you, Corbin. Enjoy the Elden Ring. I think you will have a lot of fun with that. Yeah, welcome in everyone. One more minute and we will get into the news. Sonic is real and he says desu. Gotta go fast. I can still hear that meme music. You have a Discord? No, it's Straub's Discord. Unless they're referring to their own Discord, but if they're referring to anything relating to me, it'd be Straub's Discord. Yo, and Demon Time with the 10 saying, by the way, Hirohei recently talked about a manga about a femboy becoming more girl-like, getting an anime adaptation. The mangaka got pissed at the localization team for making the femboy trans. Well, I read the first half of that and I'm like, they're gonna make the character trans, aren't they? Right again.
People are saying Buzz Lightyear's trans, by the way.
Oh, well, they tried gay. That wasn't enough. That wasn't diverse enough. So trans now.
Well, they're saying because apparently his I don't know, we call his owner, like
His what?
his owner, like whoever has.
Is this some kind of a fetish thing?
No, I'm saying like
I'm kidding.
the little kid who plays with him apparently put him in a skirt or something.
Well, that's trans confirmed. Wait a second. So if someone forces you into a skirt and you have no autonomy when it happens, that means you're trans? Mm-hmm. Huh. To infinity and beyond! That's, well... Yeah, I heard about the Jack stuff in Digital Circus. I'm so tired of that whole discourse. Anything to do with the amazing Digital Circus, exhausting. Yep. Thought it was an apron. I mean, it might be an apron. I mean, they'll go for anything. Crazy. Crazy. Yo, and Freedom Fries, thank you for the gifted membership. W Gifter. That's how we do. Making the community happy. Weren't they hating on Jax earlier? Yes. Yes, they were saying it's like the most evil character also in the series. And now, well, hold on a second. We got an agenda to push. So forget that. It must mean that. Sonic told me so, yeah. Sonic told me that as well. Dodged another gift subs. Your time will come, Aljun. Your time will come. You can't dodge forever. We see people get sniped all the time. But anyways, I'm going to get ready to pull up. Still muted? Okay. Been muted the whole time. I'm just talking with a brick wall this whole stream. Wouldn't be the first time. Yo, and Sergeant Tin Man with the $20 super chat. What are the oranges for? Saying, I'm loving all the videos of the Europeans here for the World Cup falling in love with the US. They are finding out in real time that the corporate media is lying to them. I can't get over some of those clips, especially like I saw a couple with people from Japan. In Texas, they can't speak like any English. They're just like, Texas is so big. Wow. Like, yeah, Europeans will crap all over America till they've had our brisket. Until they've had barbecue. Okay? Then their whole worldview just shatters. Or they have AC. You know? It's crazy. There's a lot of good things here in America. Don't let the media tell you otherwise. But of course, you know, loving your country is I was going to say a microaggression. It's like a macroaggression. That makes you a Nazi. You're not allowed to do that here. But thank you guys for all the supers. I appreciate it. Let me pull up the first thing here. We're going to get right into it with a banger. With a banger. Let me get my headphones set up here. And I'll pause the music so we can really take this in. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that a member of our community, Phantom, has produced an absolute banger for us to enjoy today. An AI music video showcasing some of the people we cover in our discourse, including me and Straub, but also the enemies like Hassan and co. And I think this is a great video, and we're going to watch it together right now. The face of evil right there. Hassan and the Froganator. Danger is approaching. Oh, not the towers falling. Oh. Tectone. The first time I saw this, I'm like, who is this? I'm assuming this is Asmongold. Made him Ultra Chad appearing, so it took me a second the first time, but I believe this is Asmongold. Wait a second, the towers were not on purpose? There are no coincidences, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Clancy. Oh, they got Gooner Clancy. Hassan with the shock collar, calling him, summoning him into action to take out the enemies of Hassan. Amazing detail. This is a rogue's gambit of insufferable internet people. And it's, I don't know if it's sad, but I instantly recognized all of them. Denims, iDubbbz, Hassan, The Quartering, Alyssa Mercante, and Frogan. This is a nightmare blunt rotation right here. Justice is coming, don't worry. And this is Phantom, of course.
Questions started spreading through the crowd. People began to think out loud.
Initiate protocol. Now that is so cool. Not only do I like the way I look here, but Straub looks very cute. Like 10 out of 10, immaculate.
It looks so cute.
Looks very cute. My senses are tingling. Danger! I'm assuming that's Kodiak. That looks like Stuttering Craig. And you really beefed him up. I'm sure he would appreciate that. Smash JT also looking ripped. I'm not sure who that is, if you can clarify. Or is that... Oh, that's the guy from Bricks and Minifigs. That's right. Got it. Oh, it's Camelot. Okay, okay. Well, he's actually pretty ripped. And who do we got there? We gotta get the whole lineup. Leaf It, Kirsha, us of course, Nux, and Powder as well. This strikes fear in the unstable minds of Twitter freaks, for sure. Reckless Ben, yeah. Well, there's Banana Juju, Hero Hey, Ember, even our girl Rima. Very nice. The squad has arrived. You do. Get those blue hairs out of here. Oh. Wait. Not the Quartering riding the bull. Did he borrow that from his wife? That's crazy. That's diabolical work right there. Oh yeah, Smugglana's in there too, yes. This is how we settle the lawsuit. iDubbbz down. Now that's pretty sick. Monkeys. Banger. Absolute banger. ladies and gentlemen. You love to see it. You know what I've noticed too with a lot of the villains portrayed in this? They don't get stuff like this. Their communities are completely devoid of whimsy and fun. In fact, I would think they're probably afraid to make stuff like this for people like Hassan, because Hassan will probably crash out and be like mad about it. You know? Very good job. This is definitely going to go on the Alt Chanel. And I'll put a link to this. If someone can drop a link. Can you drop a link to this in the chat?
Yes.
Straub's going to drop a link to this. Make sure to sub up. Like the video. It deserves way more views. Very important stuff right here. Thank you again, Phantom, for making this. As always, we always encourage stuff like this. This is very fun. We enjoy whimsy around here, ladies and gentlemen. We love stuff like this. But yeah, there we go. Wanted to share that with you guys. Yeah, W Phantom in the chat. And also Phantom coming in with the 20 saying, thank you for showing this. I wanted to show my appreciation. Well, it was definitely very appreciated. Thank you for making that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, Mr. Yid Scribe with the 5 saying, this is truly one of the moments ever. That's what I was thinking as well. Thank you for the 5. Then Molten Havoc with the 5 saying, you're one of my favorite YouTubers. Keep up the amazing work and F all of the haters. Love you, man, and stay happy and healthy. Will do, you guys as well. There's Straub with the link. Go follow it. Watch it, give it a like, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you, thank you. And then 18 Wheels and a Drone with the $13.45 saying, I love to see the modern audience at a Scottish festival with that thought process. Lizard, 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 lizard. Thank you very much for that. And game time with the 5 saying, okay, about the Jax thing. It's written okay, and it, unlike most forced trans rep, isn't in your face and serve the purpose of the narrative. Yeah, unfortunately, people, they need this, right? They need this. And they're going to go too far with it, or they already have gone pretty far with all that stuff, but that's just what we've come to expect at this point. Thank you for the 5 there. Can I spell? There we go. And what else do we got here? Catching up on the supers. I must scroll faster. Yo, and Ibex with the 2 CHF saying he got your humongous boot size lore accurate. It is accurate, ladies and gentlemen. I rarely show off the full model. Something crazy's got to happen. And I show something like that, but yes, the boots, very accurate. And Intimidator with the 5 saying, do my eyes deceive me? Or did I see Camelot as Solid Snake? It looks very striking, actually, yes. I thought it was Stuttering Craig for a second. I'm like, whoa, when did he get so buff?
Oh, was that not supposed to be Craig?
It was Camelot, yeah.
Oh.
And it does make sense,
I was also
now that I know.
confused why Craig was so buff. I mean, not that Craig is like...
Everyone's buff in these videos.
Well, yeah.
Except for me, apparently. Which, you know what, honestly, good. That would look very weird if me or Straub were buff. Yo, and Louis with the €2 saying Mugen sucks and shall be banned. Shall! My goodness. But yeah, he's an interesting character for sure. Rev and Straub are huge inspirations for me. Well, we appreciate it. We do our best. We do our best. It was a very good watch. And I think we're all caught up on the supers for now. We also hit the super chat goal, which means a members only hardcore World of Warcraft stream this week, possibly tomorrow, to try to keep things balanced, you know? I want to have like a long gap between public streams. That's what kind of happened last week. Like, I did the members only on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Or was it Thursday? Whatever it was, there was a couple days between public streams. So I try to like balance it. You know what I'm saying? We need a buff version of Rev's model. Do you guys just want things to be cursed? That's what I'm getting. Buff like that girl from Hunter x Hunter. It would look so cursed, guys. It would look unbelievably cursed. You can't be drinking eggnog, bro. Eggnog. Don't get Straub excited. She'll think about Christmas.
I was already thinking about Christmas earlier.
There you have it.
I love Christmas.
The only version of eggnog that I've ever had was many years ago, and it was whiskey and eggnog. Sounds disgusting, but it was actually pretty good. I cannot lie. It surprised me. Yo, an 18 wheels and a drone with the $6.75 saying YouTube needs to highlight what part of the chat is problematic when there's an issue. Lizard, 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 lizard. Hit the lizard. Lizard, 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 lizard. Don't say I'm not giving the people what they want, ladies and gentlemen. I'm following through on their demands. That's right. Let's see here. Making me do math and stuff, man. There we go. You know, and Keyrain with the 5 saying, just remember everyone, your best friend Sonic says Rev and Straub are based. He did say that. He did. So true. So true. Thanks for reminding everyone of the truth. Captain Yan Yan with the 2 saying, who is your favorite, Leaflet, Kirsha, or Ember, and why? I don't play favorites. I like every single one of them. If anything, I think I've been watching Kirsha the longest out of that group. But I watched Kirsha, then Leaflet, then Ember. Can't remember why I discovered Ember. She was talking about something relevant to me. I don't remember what it was. Might have been the advanced stuff. Which, I was telling Straub the other day. First of all, besides getting spammed with their emails despite, like, doing everything in my power to keep them from emailing me still, I also get their promoted tweets on my timeline on Twitter. And it did warm my heart a little bit to see the comments just filled with people speaking positively about me and Straub. People are like elephants. They never forget. They'll never forget the injustice. Yo, Micah with the $10 super chat saying, better not add admin. He might backseat you on the WoW stream. I allow backseat gaming on the WoW streams. I'm ready for the challenge. I'm locked in. Reverino, the rogue, is heading towards glory. Absolutely. Yo, Ibex, thank you for the 2 additional CHF saying Christmas is only a Straub's thought away. Very true. This is absolutely true. Yo, and Demon Time with the 2 saying, give us Rev model, but in form of the Buff Suki meme. Oh, yes, Buff Suki. That is a cursed image. You know what? AI makes all these things very easy these days. I don't care if it takes a whole town's power supply to make it happen. It was worth it. It's worth it for a meme like that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yo, and Appy with the €2 saying, you trans or a femboy? No. Neither, good sir. I am a man. I am a full, hairy, smelly man.
You're not smelly. You smell good. You take a shower.
Yeah. Lost the gamer gunk. For sure. But that's all the supers. Thank you guys. And yeah, members only stream coming at you soon. Let's move on to the next topic. Now, of course, there's definitely some Stellar Blade fatigue these days. The drama never seems to end. On the main channel the other day, I talked about a very concerning situation where the modern audience on woke gaming forums like Reset Era are trying to report Stellar Blade and its studio Shift Up to payment processors. They're so upset about Stellar Blade Blood Rain, and in particular the design of Eevee, that they want to contact the evil empire known as payment processors like Visa and MasterCard in the hopes that they'll be banned from various platforms so they can't sell their game. Now that was met with a great deal of backlash, but people are not giving up the fight. This person right here, I came across this and I was just flabbergasted. Absolutely flabbergasted, ladies and gentlemen. There are people like this who are sentient, they walk among us, and they're trying to start a petition. Eevee in Stellar Blade Blood Rain looks significantly younger than Eve. We support creative freedom, but sexualizing a character who visually appears underage crosses the line. Read our petition and sign if you can with a change.org petition. So this person is looking at Eevee and thinking of children, and they're not just making it everyone else's problem, they're trying to start a petition against this game. Yeah, the bio is crazy on this individual. But you know what? Good things here. 6 likes, 44 comments, all dunking on this individual. Very funny. But for the petition itself, womp, womp, ladies and gentlemen. 51 signatures. The modern audience presented to you for your viewing pleasure. All 51 people are very enthusiastic about getting this game shut down. As you can see, petition, protect against sexualization of youthful characters in Stellar Blade Blood Rain. Of course, they're mad about this, and they're mad at Shift Up, but they still support the company despite believing they're doing this, like, heinous crime in their eyes with Eevee. But here's their description. The issue. We are fans of the Stellar Blade video game who appreciate its stylish action gameplay, excellent combat, and confident character designs. We are writing because of serious concerns about the new protagonist Eevee in the upcoming Stellar Blade Blood Rain. Eevee has been intentionally designed by Shift Up to appear significantly younger and smaller than the original protagonist Eve. Short brown hair, freckles. No, they did it again.
Not the freckles.
The freckles of consent. Guys, I regret to inform you, this isn't even the first time this has happened. This is the second time I have seen a situation where someone is calling something like predator bait because the character has flippin' freckles. Freckles! I'm sorry, ladies out there, if you have freckles. I don't care if you're 50 years old. We can't have you in a just society, right? Incredible, incredible stuff. But they continue on saying, softer facial features and reduced stature. Yes, she's shorter and has soft facial features. Therefore, ban it. The reveal trailer already shows elements of the series revealing outfit style and physics. The CEO of Shift Up, Kim Hyung, has indicated in recent interviews that her outfits will be even more appealing. While we support creative freedom, no you don't, and the original game's approach to attractive adult characters in suggestive clothing, applying similar revealing outfits and intimate area jiggle physics to a character who is uncomfortable for many players. Yes, she's definitely very uncomfortable if you are delusional, right? Obviously. But on top of that, I love that there is an erasure of history here, right? There's an erasure of history. This person is talking about Eve, not even acknowledging that the same thing happened with the character Eve. People said she looked like a literal child, that her face was too youthful looking, that her body was too petite, and that Shift Up had to correct it. But now this person who supported the first protagonist is now doing this to Evie. And they end their heart-wrenching soliloquy by saying, "We also request an official public statement from Shift Up CEO affirming the studio does not intend to sexualize characters who appear underage. This design choice will not contribute to a broader trend of blurring lines around age-appropriate content in games." My goodness, the narcissism. They want an official public statement from Shift Up and the CEO. Well, I got very bad news for the creator of this petition. This is the CEO of Shift Up, and this is his repost. You know, forget the endless arts of Eevee, including suggestive art that he's regularly reposting. He posted this specific one a few days ago. And there's actually an English translation mocking this entire discourse where people are claiming she looks like a kid, with Eevee showing off her curves, basically saying, can you still say that after seeing these? Definitely adult, but yeah, a brat undoubtedly. So yeah, once again, shout outs to Shift Up for holding the line. Not only do they not care, they're making fun of the outrage. This is the way, ladies and gentlemen, and with Sony out of the picture for publishing this time, we're much more unlikely to see any censorship, any backing down, and we're going to see a great game here. I am very excited for Stellar Blade Blood Rain. I think it's going to be a massive hit. I think it's going to really crush it right out of the gate, and it's going to make people seethe so much, and I really, and I mean really, cannot wait for it, ladies and gentlemen. But that is the Stellar Blade situation. Are you busy, Miss Straub?
Only a little. Why?
Would you like to read supers?
I can.
She can! Yippee! She's doing big business. She was texting me when I was out of the house earlier.
Oh my
and she's
goodness.
like, I'm auctioning things in Yo World and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, big things are happening in our households.
No, you said that when I said that they were doing double coins for ads.
That's even more pathetic. I'm sorry. She watches the ads they play so she can collect in-game currency.
I don't like to. I don't spend real money on games. I grind. I'm a grinder. I'm on the grind set. Okay, get like me. Would you rather me take your credit card to Yo World?
No, you already took your mom's credit card for that.
No, first of all, my mom did not have a credit card. She would give me like $20. We would go to Walmart and get a Zynga card.
A what?
When I would clean her room. Like a Zynga game card.
I'm glad I never experienced that level of whatever that is.
Zynga had
a
Zynga
card.
They had Farmville, Yoville.
Sad.
They had all the different like Facebook. Anyways. I played this game since 2010, okay? I was a small child. Captain Nyan Nyan with the 5. So if everyone swapped races, Rev's model is vampire. So what would it look like as a slime fairy, foxy, or cat girl instead? It would look different.
Which one would you choose?
I feel like you're meant to be a vampire.
Yeah, but if you had to choose out of that.
Cat girl. Zynga is still relevant. I mean, not really. The game is owned by Big Viking Games now, so. Zynga went under, I don't know if they actually went under. They sold it in, 2015. Ram Love with the 500. Is that yen?
Yes.
Him with the sticker. Keep it up.
The sticker.
Let's go.
Keeping that feature alive.
Alejandro with the 5. What if we fusion Rev and Straub into a 4 arms looking creature from Bin 10? We need to see your gains on model. That's kind of scary sounding. Yeah, Zynga was on top of Facebook games back in the day. They ran the Facebook games. Ibex with the 2. He said Among Us.
I did. I said they walk among us, and I immediately thought Among Us.
Yo World stream. No. I'm not doing that. Nobody wants to see that, and to be honest, I don't really want to do it because I feel like I wouldn't be I feel like I would be I have to focus on one or the other. I have to focus on chat or I have to focus on the game. I don't know. Because I'm chatting a lot on the game. Claw with the 5. Off topic, but I can't wait for Twitteritis to ruin Bearcatmon when someone draws her with the wrong color. It's inevitable. I don't know what that means.
Me neither.
Kirain with 5. That kind of thinking to create a petition against young-looking characters is dangerously close to governing real people who look young. Well, that's the whole thing, right? They literally said
you got a license for them freckles.
you look a little young, and then you show them your ID, and you're not. Oh my goodness, Shinji with the 2. You will not take her from me, Anakin. Bless you, bless you. Thank you for the 2. Your mother was addicted to Zynga games until you suffered a serious injury to break her trance.
See, that's what they.
I feel
that's what they use when they say 50% of gamers are female. Yeah, it's Yo World and Candy Crush.
I probably knew your mom on Yo World. There's a lot of older women on Yo World. I was talking to someone this morning and they were like, "Yeah, I'm in my 50s and 60s," and I'm like, makes sense, adds up. That's also why they're able to be on there all day. I have no excuse why I'm able to be on there. Kieran with the 5. We all know when you get older, you stop being short. You stop having freckles. You immediately get a Chad chin with cut jawlines. No six-pack, you're a child.
I don't know. That still sounds like a smooth face, even with a Chad jawline. Maybe a beard. Even if you gotta, glue one on. Just so nobody's confused. We don't want to upset their delicate sensibilities.
Oh my goodness. Ibex with the 5. Would you rather have $19 now or $7 billion, but you have to wait until tomorrow?
I want that 19 now.
Tomorrow's
not guaranteed.
I was going to say you're not promised tomorrow.
That's right. Easy.
I can hope and assume that I'll be here tomorrow. I'll wait. Texan Rider with the 2. Shift Up continues to prove they are based.
Absolutely.
Demon Time with the 2. Straub, you liked being a magical girl in that MV. Yeah, I am a magical girl. So it's on point. Kieran with the 5. We'd be in flying cars if they put this kind of effort into legally going after actual problems instead of virtue signaling against adults.
Yep. Wasted effort.
But that would be...
They're more mad about that than they are about the rape gang inquiry.
That would be so much more effort they'd have to put in, guys. Daniel Santana with the 5. Let us increase the likes. Yes, guys, like the live. Hello, Rev. I apologize for missing your live.
Oh, never have to apologize for that.
I've been occupied with work and engaging in debates on the side. Ooh. Well, good luck on that. I'm done with my debating days. My debating days are over.
All right, well, thank you, Straub.
You're welcome.
And a lizard out the door. By out the door, I mean shifting chairs within 2 inches of me.
Yep.
All right, guys. What do we talk about now? Yo, and Jovan Parkins here with 2 saying, "Hi, Strawberry." "Hi, Rev." "Hello, Jovan Parkins." I appreciate the 2. Hope you're doing well. Let's see, what do we talk about next? That's what we'll talk about next. There it is. Alright, we're in the month of June, and there's still Pragmata discourse going. I mean, it's got more legs than Stellar Blade Blood Rain right now, okay? People are still talking about this, but it's a very interesting situation, okay? You can see the headline here. Pragmata's devs had a Diana police team responsible for making sure Diana was cute. The all-female group reviewed her animations and dialogue to ensure her cuteness felt natural and childlike. So they had a team, a Diana police force, filled with an all-female staff who was making sure she was as cute and even real and believable as possible. And as you can see from the quotes here, major blow to the freaks that claimed men liking the game meant they are weird. Yes, also that goes towards the people claiming no women were involved at all. Like, this is not what a child would act like. No way. Don't you know that you're supposed to hate the idea of being a father figure? Don't you know you're supposed to hate parental instincts? Don't you know that it's evil to want to have children? But yeah, they made the extra efforts of making sure this character is cute and felt natural, which flies in the face of so much discourse. But of course, the wackadoos are out in full force, saying I genuinely find this game incredibly unappealing. Every single clip I've seen has been people being weird about how cute they find her. It screams creep. Ah, yes. The normal people yet again, perverting and demonizing wholesome, cute things. They can't fathom people just finding this character cute. Instead, they find it unappealing and just gross, and that there's something wrong with the people who enjoy that. Look at the bio, way ahead of you. I mean, it's everybody's favorite queer anarchist. What do you say? These are the people mad at you for enjoying Pragmata. And probably any game, for that matter, or any sense of happiness or joy you ever feel, because they're miserable enough to unironically call themselves an anarchist. Interesting. Here's another quote saying, which means nothing. Half of the CP and CSA abuse material in the anime/manga scene is drawn by women. The abuse material drawn. People on Twitter are profoundly stupid. Profoundly stupid. Also, they cannot contain their racism and their hatred of the Japanese, immediately resorting to projection, slander, and racism. When they hear that a game was developed and a team was there to make sure the character was cute and natural. This is their response. It just goes to show you that no matter what, these people are going to be mad, and there's virtually nothing you can do to stop them. They're just deranged, ladies and gentlemen. Let's read a couple supers, then we'll get into the next thing. There's always a next thing, guys. Let's see here. What do we got? The Deep Fryer with 5 saying they think Stellar Blade is bad. Imagine what would happen if they ever found out about Persona in SMT. Well, they whine about those as well, unfortunately. Just not as loud. You know, it's about what's trendy, right? Yo, and Ibex delivering with the 19 CHF saying, here's your $19, Rev. Guess the movie. Oh, jeez. I'm stumped. Something with space.
Something gorilla. The Apes of Outer Space or something. Is that a movie?
Is that a movie? You're just making something up?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Isn't there a movie about monkeys in outer space or something?
I couldn't tell you.
Or like they came from outer space?
Chat? You're gonna have to help me here. Space Odyssey? That could be. That could be, actually. Apes in space? Apes from space?
That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
The apes are in space.
Planet of the Apes?
Is that it? Is it Planet of the Apes?
Spaceballs? I don't think so.
Yeah, I thought about that. That ain't it.
That was before your time, Straub.
How do you know?
Because you don't even know what that is.
I've heard the term.
Uh-huh.
I'm aware of things. I'm cool.
But we'll wait for official confirmation. Yo, and Demon Time! With the 2 saying, DPF, quick! Deploy motherly affection to the child. That's very evil of you. That's very evil of you. And Mr. Yidscribe with a 5 saying the masculine urge to be a nurturing father is clearly the most dangerous. I mean, unironically, that is something that is wholly demonized these days. Not just in social media, but in the media in general. It's very disturbing. Very disturbing. But, let's see here. Oh, we got the answer. Ibex with the 2 saying the answer is 1968, A Space Odyssey. Yes. You blew it up. That makes sense when I see it. Comb the desert. Yeah, see, Straub, you should know that from Spaceballs. You know the commercials
Because we always go to the theater.
at the theater. They say comb the desert, and they're combing the desert.
Comb.
Yes. But thank you, Ibex, for the riddle and the donations. The supas. Thank you very much. But I think now we're going to watch this. So recently there's been a resurgence of discussion about Anita Sarkeesian. She's kind of the ground zero for the original Gamergate. She's the person who wanted to demonize video games as misogynistic and harming women. Her grift went so far she even spoke before the UN, but at the end of the day, Anita Sarkeesian speaking before the UN, feminists in the UN, name a more worthless duo right there. But the Critical Drinker on his second channel has a video about this, so we're going to give it a watch and see what this is all about.
When it comes to video game crash and burns, they really don't get much more spectacular than this one. It would be no exaggeration to say that Anita Sarkeesian was one of the most influential, divisive, and widely hated figures in the whole industry.
True.
A name that's practically become the Lord Voldemort of the gaming world now, instantly conjuring up memories of bitter online culture wars, horrifyingly unlikable girl bosses, DEI struggle sessions, corporate mandated activism, and of course, absolutely shameless online grifting.
People love the term grifter, but this is the definition of a grifter. She has admitted she doesn't play video games. She doesn't even care about video games in terms of enjoying them for herself. And yet, for years, she collected hundreds of thousands of dollars in the name of protecting female gamers while demonizing male gamers, demonizing the industry. And she is the roots that spread her ideology throughout the entire industry. The impact cannot be understated, okay? And people always say, oh, well, she's crazy and she's a grifter and who cares? It doesn't matter how ridiculous she is. She had a real impact. Acknowledge it however you want. She did. As ridiculous as she is, she did have an impact, and people were so afraid of telling her no, they just rolled with it and allowed her to fester her ideology throughout the industry.
A woman who once spoke in front of the United Nations,
Yep.
who had major studios bending over backwards to accommodate her, the entire legacy media apparatus trying to prop her up, and a river of money all flowing her way. Then, it all kind of fell apart when everyone collectively realised she was completely full of shit, knew practically nothing about the things she presumed to lecture industry pros and lifelong fans about, and her involvement in most major gaming projects was a kind of reverse Midas touch, turning gold into shit and profit into massive
Yes.
losses.
Also, she's such a narcissist, by the way, and so just, ugh. She married herself. She had a whole ceremony marrying herself. Let that sink in. If you ever feel lonely, just know there's people out there marrying themselves.
So join me, your humble critical gamer, as we explore the crash and
I'm the
burn
most humble,
of
by the
Anita
way.
Sarkeesian. Anita was born in Toronto, Canada in 1983, the daughter of Iraqi Armenians who moved to the country back in the 70s.
Canadians!
After finishing high school, she moved to California to study communications before moving on to York University.
She looks like she would fit in California, and that's definitely true.
Where she earned a master's degree in social and political thought in 2010. Already her preoccupation with gender and identity politics was pretty obvious with her final thesis, I'll Make a Man Out of You, Strong Women in Science Fiction and Fantasy Television.
I hope that came at the cost of hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loans. That's the only price that is valid for that sort of final thesis for your stay in college. Diabolical.
While finishing up her degree, she launched the website Feminist Frequency, dedicated to analysing media from a feminist perspective, where she did groundbreaking work like applying the Bechdel test, a widely debunked tool whose own creator admitted that it was done purely for laughs, to the Best Picture nominees in 2012, and breaking down the gender stereotyping in Lego bricks.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know about that. That's crazy.
Yup, I'm being serious here. None of this made too much of an impact, but it did open up a new avenue for grifting. Sorry, media analysis. And that avenue was video games, a rapidly growing industry catering to a largely male audience and making absurd amounts of money in the process. and that clearly was something that needed correcting. In May 2012, Anita launched a Kickstarter campaign to fund a YouTube video series called Tropes vs. Women in Video Games, where she would break down various harmful stereotypes and depictions of women in gaming and how they could be fixed.
Over the course of this series, I will be offering critical analysis of many popular games and characters. But please keep in mind that it's both possible, and even necessary, to simultaneously enjoy a piece of media while also being critical of its more pernicious aspects.
Why exactly do you need funding to create the kind of videos that most content creators can make themselves for nothing?
It's a grift. Yes, guys, like, if you're familiar with the feminist frequency, the production budget is this. It's what you're seeing. It's literally just her speaking in front of a screen and popping a few images up there every couple of minutes. But she needed massive funding for that. Should have been red alert for anyone who was interested in giving any money to her, but, you know, in the name of promoting feminism, I guess.
Don't know. Just don't worry about where the money went.
Nah.
Either way, the campaign was a massive hit and ended up raising over $150,000, and Tropes vs. Women rolled ahead with its first episode, Damsels in Distress, that came out the following year. Yeah, it was mostly superficial, highly biased, and easily debunked analysis of cherry-picked examples stripped of context, usually from games that had been made decades earlier, and tossed together with the kind of word salad that could only come from a political science degree, but what the fuck? It was exactly what the legacy news media were desperate for.
Yep.
A chance to shame and browbeat an industry that had mostly gone unchallenged until now.
The media's always looking for an Anita Sarkeesian, right? They will prop up anyone who finally somewhat fulfills the agenda they're trying to push. I mean, why do you think Hassan Piker, for example, is like the darling of leftist media, right? He just fits enough. They don't care if he's a complete disaster of a man. They're like, yeah, that's our guy. He's our champion. Let's put him in every article ever. Let's glaze him up. Let's look stupid. As long as we're promoting someone who lines up with us. And that was Anita Sarkeesian back in around 2014.
New York Times even called it essential viewing for anyone interested in video games, and one of their journalists even tried to call out Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto about the damsels in distress trope in the Mario games. His response? I haven't given it a lot of deep thought over the years. Fucking based. Not everyone was riding the feminist frequency bandwagon though. As it turned out, Anita and her series had blundered right into the middle of the biggest online culture war of all time, Gamergate. Now, there's already like 1 million videos explaining this topic in way more depth than I ever could. The short version is that people began to notice that certain indie game developers were getting a suspicious amount of positive coverage from mainstream gaming outlets, which led to accusations of corruption, bias, and even sexual favors in games journalism, and
It blew up in their face. Entirely.
eventually exploded into an all-out backlash against the creep of identity politics and feminism in gaming. And this was hardcore, man. Doxing, threats, harassment campaigns, mass flagging, review bombing, even criminal charges. It was all kicking off, and pretty soon, the Tropes vs. Women series became another major target, along with its creator. Now, it goes without saying that I do not endorse this kind of shit in the slightest. Criticizing a person's ideas is perfectly fine, but actually threatening harm on them in the real world is something very fucking different.
It's very simple, too. You don't have to resort to unhinged threats and things like that when you're dealing with the Anita Sarkeesians of the world. Just use their words and use your words in a normal way to combat them. Nothing looks more damaging than what they're actually saying themselves. Just go after that. You don't have to go the extra level, because people like Anita Sarkeesian love to play the victim. And yes, that is also a good point. A lot of the threats were faked, right? As we'll see, I'm sure, some of the threats directed were self-produced, and they got caught in 4K.
Either way though, Anita was able to spin all of this to her advantage with sympathetic news coverage and even an appearance at the UN to speak about online harassment. Now, if you were a tinfoil hat enthusiast, you might even suggest that she courted this kind of online controversy and baited people into harassing her to prove her own point and portray herself as a brave victim standing up to the online mob so she can milk all that sweet sympathy and donation money. But you know, that's just crazy talk.
Crazy.
Before you could say gassed up mid though, Anita and her Trope series was the toast of the town in media circles, garnering millions of views, attending major speaking events, TED Talks, video game conferences, and basically anyone that would have her. Suddenly confronted by this tidal wave of media scrutiny and profit-threatening criticism, the gaming industry reacted exactly like you'd expect. They folded like a house of cards, and before you knew it, Anita was being touted as the new savior of gaming, the bringer of light and truth who was going to drag the industry away from sweaty teenage boys and horny middle-aged men and into a more enlightened era of diversity and inclusion.
She was their champion. Make no mistake, she was the ground level of everything we're dealing with now. They picked her, and her influence produced a million different versions of her. If you ever wonder why the gaming industry feels so woke and just exhausting with its agenda, thank Anita Sarkeesian and everyone who propped her up.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
However, all was not well. The Tropes vs. Women series that had started with such fanfare in 2013 was rapidly losing momentum. Views dropped off sharply from 2015 onwards and never really recovered, and the pace of uploads slowed down drastically, with only 2 episodes getting released in 2017 before the whole thing ground to a halt. Wow, that was $150,000 well spent, wasn't it? Anita's claim of being a lifelong gamer took a bit of a hit when footage emerged of her running a workshop back in 2010, giving a very different story.
It's a soundtrack of one song, except I'm doing video games. So it's not exactly a fandom. I'm not a fan of video games. I actually had to learn a lot about video games in the process of making this.
That right there should have been like the kill shot. She just admits she never cared about video games and only started learning about them while she was in the middle of her grift collecting hundreds of thousands of dollars. In any other context, in a sane and just world, people would say, you're done. We see through you. Even supporters should take a step back and say, nope, you're not our champion anymore. This is embarrassing. You've been exposed. But no, it didn't do that. She still gets mocked for this. Her side will never acknowledge this. It's just that bad, that blatant.
You serious?
It also turns out that mainstream media support is a fickle mistress, and if you don't have an actual fan base there to lift you up, pretty soon you're going to disappear into obscurity. And well, that's exactly what happens. A VidCon panel that she hosted in 2017 turned into a complete disaster when almost nobody showed up except her own detractors, and she spent most of the event raging against them and dodging their questions. By 2019, desperate for
Clearly they were a bunch of misogynistic incels, obviously, guys.
money and relevance, she tried to publicly blackmail CD Projekt Red into a consultancy gig on their upcoming game Cyberpunk 2077, saying, "Hey CD Projekt Red, I'm always available for consulting cause it sure sounds like you might need it before the whole of the internet drags you for what sounds like some potentially sexist representations, which we all know you've struggled with in the past."
Does this sound familiar? It should, because this is exactly what Sweet Baby Inc. does as a business model. In fact, the CEO has a clip out there of her saying you need to go to your HR department or your leadership and scare them with the threat of cancel culture. If they don't work with our consulting firm, they'll be canceled. Their product's going to fail because everyone on social media is going to get real mad and cancel you. This is a business model that works. That's the crazy part. It works.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
It was the social media equivalent of a protection racket. Hey buddy, nice game you got there. Be a real shame if something was to happen to it, know what I mean? Needless to say, it didn't work. CD Projekt Red and any other developers
Good
still
on them for
interested in
once.
turning a profit avoided her like the plague, and by the early 2020s, the culture had shifted, Gamergate and most of its major players had faded from relevance, and feminist frequency was fading with it. See, it turns out that watching a bunch of bored, frumpy, middle-aged spinsters prattling on about media they barely understand wasn't a big hit with audiences. Views plummeted, interest waned, and in 2023, Anita announced that she was shutting down feminist frequency for good.
But she's not
The
done.
official excuse was burnout and exhaustion. The real reason? Nobody was fucking watching it. So where exactly is she now? Well, in 2023, she made headlines when she celebrated her 40th birthday by holding a wedding ceremony where she married herself.
I already mentioned it, but it's crazy. Just crazy this actually happened. This is the bowels of no self-respect. And the bouquet is just on point, obviously. Crazy. Marrying yourself. That is a true narcissist, ladies and gentlemen.
Really?
It can always get worse.
Yes, yes.
Oh my god, that might be the saddest thing I have ever heard. Honestly, I can't think of a better metaphor for modern day feminism than a single, childless, middle-aged woman
Big
marrying
true.
herself. From a career standpoint, she still kind of exists as this shadowy figure on the fringes of the games industry, limping along with the occasional consulting gig on small-time indie projects, but her days as an industry-leading cultural icon are long gone. Looking back on it now, she was really just someone who happened to be in the right place at the right time.
I think definitely it was a right place at the right time sort of thing, but she's still having an impact. She's still getting work as a consultant. We saw that with Slay the Spire 2. When people discovered that she was a hired consultant for that game, the goodwill that was generated for that studio plummeted. Of course, people still really enjoy the game. It was a massive success, but that was a really big blemish on that studio. The fact that they're so off the pulse of gamers that they thought hiring her was a sound decision was really bad. The backlash was really bad.
Able to weaponize controversy and ride the cultural wave that came with it for a few years. A person with many supporters but few fans who ultimately outlived her own relevance. That being said, the influence that she had on video games is arguably still being felt to this day. Like it or not, Anita Sarkeesian made her mark on the games industry, and it was not a pretty one.
That is the very important point to take away. No matter how you feel, you can think validly, she's very ridiculous, grifter, makes terrible points, terrible videos, terrible agenda, but it worked. People listened. And her legacy lives on through the industry, and that's why we're in such a bad state right now. She is one of the key players. Acknowledging that is really important, and that's why anything she touches right now, just like with Sweet Baby Inc., anything she touches should be criticized. 100%. If you're hiring her in this current time, you are showing a disdain for gamers. You don't know what they want. You don't care about their needs. You are disrespecting them by hiring her. But yeah, we got to that video, ladies and gentlemen. I'll put the background music back on. And I'll read a couple of supers, and then we're gonna cover the stuff I talked about in today's previous video. Just a little live run through. Guys, I need a fundraiser. I need an exorbitant amount of funds right now to keep this channel going. Do you understand how high of a budget I need? I definitely sympathize with Anita Sarkeesian. I need the whole gambit, ladies and gentlemen. I need more. I need infinite income. There's no way I could do that. Yo, Nenshao Fox with the 10. Keeping the dream alive over here. Saying it's the world's largest and saddest popularity contest because in their minds, if what I like is popular, then it means it's good, and that means I'm good. Yes, absolutely. People like things because it makes them look good. That is the pitfall of so many people. It's very sad. It's very sad people can't enjoy something for the sake of enjoying it. But to look good to people on the internet, ouch. Ouch. Jovan Parkins with a 2 saying, rename Pragmata to Cuties, they'd say it's game of the year. Yeah, they would. Yes. It's funny, I wonder what Collective Shout thought about Pragmata. I'm surprised they weren't in the mix on that one. The Cuties enthusiast over there. Kirain with a 5 saying, so many words have gotten so overused these days, people forget what the real thing looks like. Nazis, grifter, files, etc. Very good job getting around the YouTube auto-flagging there. They thrive on stupidity, yeah. Anita Sarkeesian is an actual grifter. But people take that with a grain of salt when you say it because it's so watered down. Ironically enough, by people in her camp. I guess, mission accomplished for them. And Demon Time with the 5 additional super chat here saying you could argue Anita's influence is one of the main causes for the current impending gaming industry crash. Change my mind. I wouldn't change your mind on that. I agree. 100%. I think she played a very pivotal role in all of this.
When do you want to eat dinner, by the way?
Soon. You hungry?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to have the salmon?
Mm-hmm.
You can start if you want.
Yeah, because it'll take a little while.
Okay. Straw's a cooking. What Straw be cooking?
I feel like almost every time you stream, it's like, we're having salmon.
Because I always stream on Mondays.
That's true, we do.
And I always get salmon on Mondays.
That is true.
Yeah.
Salmon Mondays, chat.
That's right.
Doesn't get any better than this.
Mm-mm. Yo, and thank you, Rem, for becoming a Revling. Thank you very much for that. Welcome in. The Revling army continues to grow. And Devastator with the 5 Canadian bucks saying, didn't she claim Bayonetta is sexist even though it's designed by a woman? Now that I think about it, a lot of the sexist characters were woman-made. That is very true. She had a whole video about Bayonetta, actually multiple videos using Bayonetta as a sign of misogyny and harm coming to women through video games. And now we see the pipeline where now Bayonetta was being claimed as a feminist icon. Until, of course, it came out that she's canonically straight. Then they lost their minds. Yes. And Ibex with the additional 5 saying, do you get death threats? How do you deal with that? All the time. I would say daily basis, actually, for years now. Well, as you can see, I am still standing. So that's how I've dealt with it. I think it's a product of the culture we live in, how social media is right now, and people are just bloodthirsty, right? The big problem is on Twitter, for example, if 10 years ago you made some sort of a threat against someone, your account was getting nuked in minutes. Like, that's just the way it was, and that's the way it should be. But nowadays, I mean, there's viral tweets wishing harm and death and making active threats against people. They go viral. They'll be up for years. It's just completely and utterly ignored and tolerated. That's something that normally would get you a knock on the door from the FBI. Nowadays, it's just like a part of people's like discourse. Oh, I don't like you. I disagree with you. I'm going to threaten you. It's really diabolical. You have to ignore that stuff. I mean, like, it is what it is. You're dealing with very mentally unstable, very, very unhappy people And the main reason they say these things is to make you scared. That's their ultimate goal. They just want to scare you. They want you to back down. They want you to quit whatever you're doing because they believe what you're saying is so dangerous, they have to put a stop to it. But they want you to stop through intimidation. Seeger with a 5 saying, man, sad to hear that Sonic news you said, but I share a birthday with the blue blur. Hey, you know what? It is what it is. Great franchise. Unfortunately, I think very much the product of what I was just talking about with The Last Super is the reason why things have gotten so toxic. You know, just like with the current Sonic stuff, if someone said, like, I want half of the American population to have the worst and cheered on assassination culture, they would just be gone. But nowadays, it's just like people accept it. QC Suppressor with a 2 saying, thoughts on the Arby's manager spitting on food? I have not heard of that. That sounds abysmal. That's disgusting. I feel like that should be a very serious crime. When you mess with someone's food, that should be a very serious punishment coming your way. Absolutely. And especially if I'm at Arby's, if I have steak in Arby's, I want that person made an example of so that never happens again, because that is a horrible, horrible thing to happen at your franchise, because people are like, I don't want to go there. It's a felony. Good. Great. Actually. Yo, and Jog Live with the 5 saying, so despite all the issues with God of War Lawfare, given they said they had planned this, that it might be decent to play, given SM past track record. Yeah, I saw the thing about how they've had this in store for like 8 years or something. In terms of the gameplay, we're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, I think the route they're going was something that was not the best route, not the most fruitful for them. But haven't had Arby's in like a decade. Arby's is great too. I'm an Arby's defender, ladies and gentlemen. I've gone to bat for Arby's many times. A lot of people think Arby's is like the worst. I actually like Arby's. In fact, we haven't had Arby's in a minute. I feel like we should get it sometime this week. But, yeah. Yo, what's up, Gabe? I'm here. What did I miss? We talked about Anita Sarkeesian. We talked about some Pragmata stuff. Talked about some more Stellar Blade stuff. We watched a video from Phantom. That was very funny. All this stuff is going to go on the alt channel, or, of course, you can watch the VOD too, but now we're just going to close with the Sonic stuff, and I think that'll be really it. And then I'll get the din-dins. You feel me? As you guys know, it's din-din time after the stream. I was just checking my tabs to make sure, because they've been up for hours. I just want to make sure they were still functioning. Yo, and Steve with the 5 saying, basically Rev when he gets a death threat. Cool story, bro. Anyway, here's how to tell if your LED sign is cheap. Oh, Tony. Haven't seen one of his clips in a minute. That was a very funny little trend there. Anyway, check out this LED sign. Well, thank you guys for the supers and the memberships. You are keeping the feminist frequency over here going, right? The Rev frequency. Oh, this is a great moment. Wow, look at this. Lich Emperor with the 2-month Revling membership. I say that because normally anytime someone does a renewal, it doesn't pop up in my dashboard, so I can't play it like that. But it did this time. You got the magic touch, I guess. So thank you. Appreciate that, and I'm glad my dashboard is doing what it's supposed to do. Beautiful. Those LCD sign ads are diabolical. They were so funny. It was excellent marketing. We need more of that. But let me pull up the next thing. Guys, last story for today. You know, your supers will keep the feminist frequency here going. So, I appreciate you so much. But let's talk about the Sonic situation. It's something I've made 2 videos about. They have this birthday live stream celebration for Sonic's birthday coming up tomorrow. And unfortunately, one of the featured guests, featured creators, Emsbury, who's now private, has found herself in some hot water after an extended period of time supporting cancel culture. They found themselves in their own round of their own standard based on this tweet where they were upset about the failed assassination attempt of President Donald Trump, and also said in 2025 they wish the worst for anyone who voted for Trump. I don't care. Yo, and ladies and gentlemen, 07's in the chat immediately for a relevant person as well to the situation. Miyasu with the $50 super chat saying, related to the Sonic stuff, it sucks because there are so many amazing big Sonic content creators out there, but they push people away for having different views. After the way I was treated, I just cannot watch them the same anymore and support it. Absolutely. See, that's the problem. It's either just their own decision. They don't want to support or stand up for people like you because it doesn't align with their ideology, or being charitable, they're so afraid to speak out of line and to support someone like you that they just stay silent. And that unfortunately allows this stuff to keep going. But like, I mean, I don't have to tell you this. Like, obviously, I'm very sorry you're going through this. It's been completely uncalled for. I just think, unfortunately for you, you're like the perfect storm of controversy for these people. You're cross between the VTubing scene and the Sonic scene, and it's extremely aggressive when it comes to the related stuff, and just very unfortunate. But a lot of people stand with you. That's right, the Revlings stand with you, and everyone here, make sure to support Miyasu. Check out her content as well. It's been my pleasure to talk about this, to hopefully do something. It's really hard to push a boulder that doesn't want to move in this situation, which is the whole scene. But as we'll talk about here, got this guy Fidel, who has came out to support Ems. He's one of the co-hosts of this event, calling everyone who's criticizing her a bunch of losers that hate women, of course. But right on time, Miyasu here is someone who's gone through rounds of cancellations for wrongthink. We've talked about that extensively in videos. And recently she got the opportunity to be a part of Sega Creator Zone. Now, of course, you're dealing with a community that has a large and loud population that is extremely woke. If you are designated as some sort of wrongthink enemy, what have you, they will stop at nothing to stop you, and, well, that's what they were successfully able to do. They got her kicked out of this event. And, well, one of the people participating in the related cancellation campaigns is Emsbury, who is a much larger content creator, who basically told Miyasu, you have no place in the Sonic community, which is just pure narcissism, by the way. But with this birthday stream, people have now used her standard of virtue signaling and canceling others against her. Ems created a standard for others, and now it's being applied back to her. And people are pointing out the tweets we already talked about, very heinous, bloodthirsty, advocating for political violence. Terrible stuff. This is in another stratosphere, right? We're dealing with the most disingenuous people who are comparing anything Miyasu has ever done to this. And they're right. There's no comparison. This is 1,000 times worse. This, regardless of canceling others and creating a standard, should be enough to get you kicked out of an event. There is very few times I will ever say someone probably should not be featured by a company like Sega. This is one of those times. If you're advocating for political violence, you're done. That should be a no-brainer. Reasonable people in the room who even support her should recognize how bad this is. And of course, during all this, right before she went private, she made a long post talking about virtue signaling and how she's always accused of that, and ends it by saying this is all over charity. This is a defense they're doing. They're using the fact that this is a charity event as a shield, saying if you're trying to cancel her or use her standards against her, you're hurting people. You're hurting a charity event. You know, not mentioning, of course, she's one of many guests, and they would do just fine without her. Also keep in mind, the people who say, oh, I care about the charity so much, if you cared about the charity, you'd want her out. Because she is a blemish on this event, and everyone supporting her who's also a part of the event is one as well. And if you cared, you wouldn't want her here because she is divisive. She is extremely divisive by being here. She told half the population of America, you deserve the worst, and cheered on political violence. That is such a scummy thing to do. And it's even scummier to weaponize a charity event to say, you can't touch me, because if you cancel me or come after me, you're hurting charities. It's a gigantic cop-out. And we would see her double down in some clips. We've watched it before, where she dismisses all of this as the work of chuds, and that she doesn't regret anything, and that she stands by her words, and even brings up that she makes jokes about Charlie Kirk. It's a terrible look. But people are still defending her, trying to whitewash this entire situation, saying, Ems is really sweet. I've worked with her closely on projects and spoke to her as a friend often, and she's super nice and kind. I wish her all the best and all the support. And you can see people bringing up the comments. But I would ask this person, if you told Ems you voted for Donald Trump, let's observe the sweet behavior you would receive, because she would want the worst for you. This is why it's just so astroturfed. They're trying to whitewash this individual. And it's just really disingenuous. But now we get to this guy, Games Cage. Fidel is his name. I actually remember this guy. I remember seeing him like many years ago, but he's still around. And he is the co-host of this stream. So he has a leadership role. And he replied to whatever Ems tweeted behind her private account, saying this stuff gets tough and losers are always going to try to make some noise. Got your back if you need anything, buddy. Making it very clear, I support you, and make no mistake, this guy knows exactly the context of what's going on here. He's not just, oh, she's getting canceled. I really don't know why, but I support her. No, he knows exactly what happened. In fact, this interaction just really kind of proves it. But let's watch this clip right here, okay? This is the guy defending Ems, and this is his response to the criticism.
Emsberry, 5,000 heart emojis. I know. The mods get sick. Emsberry, Sonic. Guys, I need everyone to give Emsberry 5,000 heart emojis. Give my goat some big love, bro. She's dealt with a lot of fucking losers. And I want her to know that they will not take her away from us.
So if you have any criticism of Ems, you think she's a hypocrite, you think she's unhinged for wishing harm on others, you're a effing loser. I have the original screenshot of the original tweet, but it's vague. Yeah, it's just the fact that someone clearly knowing the context of everything, would stick their neck out for someone like her just tells me everything I need to know. But again, to prove, if it wasn't obvious already, you have people like this tagging him, saying, why did you call thousands of people effing losers for calling her out? This person was blocked. This guy knows the context. Okay, he just either A, doesn't care, or B, supports it. And honestly, until proven otherwise, I think you support this. I think you support what she said, which is a very glaring problem for someone who's not just involved in the event, but is a co-host. And honestly, looking through this guy's account, I mean, it's all activism, okay? And it's just rough. And calling people losers, as we'll see, 1, 2, 3 different times. I'll tell you what looks like a loser. Someone who is so audience captured by a fan base that is clearly a lot of children and a lot of extremely mentally ill adults, being held captive by them, that you have to cater to them, that you even have to tolerate bloodthirsty rhetoric because you're so scared of them and losing their approval. That is loser behavior. And of course, as I pointed out in my video earlier, here's an example of that in real time. He posted a picture of him and XQC. He ran into XQC out in public, took a photo, posted it, just being like, wow, ran into a huge streamer in public. And he got berated by his community just a few months ago, to the point of deleting the tweets and then leaving this message making sure everyone knows he looks like Baby No Money. Oh man, I'll never unsee that now. But he made this reply making sure that everyone in his community knows he doesn't like XQC, and XQC is a very bad person in that he's making fun of him whenever he brings him up. And it's not a hill to die on. Dude, you're like 30 years old and you are so scared of your deranged audience, you can't even post a picture with a big streamer you ran into public. That's diabolical. But this clip makes it even worse, because it's not just losers attacking M's. They're also women haters. Yes, we're pulling out the gender card on this one.
Did you see a Twitter artist drama today? There's Twitter artist drama. Dude, I've seen so much bullshit, bruh. Twitter has become awful, bro. I saw people being dickheads to M's. I've seen it all, bro. I've seen too much bullshit at all times, man. Like, man, why can't people just chill out, bro? Just stop, bro, you know? Just
stop, bruh. Like, yeah, you know, maybe people should stop, like, harassment and deplatforming campaigns over people who think differently than them. Maybe people should just chill and not threaten people over having different political opinions. Maybe people should just chill, bruh. Instead of saying half the population deserves the worst, or express disappointment in a failed assassination attempt fueled by political violence. Just stop. Just chill, bruh.
Calm. Enough, dude. You know, can you talk about the latest VTuber drama, please? No. I will not be talking about VTuber drama, but it's not drama.
He's talked about it like 10 times, by the way.
I'm a fuck race, fuck trans, I'm a fuck Twitter. I know, dude, fuck Twitter, bro. Some people be saying some dumb shit, you know what I mean? Right?
They do.
It's awful. You know? So, poor...
Let me just scroll through. This guy says, F Twitter, right? This is profound, ladies and gentlemen, because I was looking for his initial reply to M's. And I'm like scrolling through his replies. I'm like, oh, I'll find it in a second, right? It's only been a couple days. This is the guy who says F Twitter. He is Twitter obsessed. Look at this guy. I'm going to scroll here through the last 24 hours of his replies on Twitter. And there we go. 1 day of Twitter usage from the guy who says F Twitter and thinks it's a terrible place. Also, Elon thanks you for your blue check mark, which I'm sure in other contexts you would think is supporting a transphobe or whatever, but we've been over that sort of hypocrisy before. But yeah, terminally online, and every reply is a reply to someone gassing him up. And he's like, yo, yeah, bro, whoa. It's the faux positivity that really does it for me. But let's continue. The clip is not done.
Ems, bro, I hate seeing people try to drag her down. I know. Essentially because, like, Ems is, like, so... It upsets me, too, because Ems is so young, too. She's, like, only 20 years old. And she's, like, getting to do all this cool shit and these cool opportunities. And then you have fucking people that just hate women and then hate people succeeding.
So he now says people are mad at Ems because she's a woman and because she's successful. So they're all just jealous misogynists, which makes not only no sense in the context. No one cares that she's a woman. No one cares if she has success. It's about the words she's saying. But also it makes no sense because most of the people criticizing this guy and Ems, well, they support Miyasu, who's a woman. You know, it makes absolutely no sense. But, like, they're not even trying. Right? Guys like this, they're not even trying to make sense. Because the people they're talking to, they can't think for themselves. They're just spoon-fed what they're supposed to think, and they run with it. Also, in perfect male feminist type energy, he tries to defend women by saying, she's so young. She's only 20. She's practically a baby. She's so infantilized. She doesn't know what she's saying. Completely removing any accountability. You no offense, dude. 20, you're an adult. Act like it. Stop threatening people. Stop glorifying political violence. I don't care if you're 20 or even much younger than that. That's way too old to be acting like that. And then to have this guy come here and basically be like, yeah, you're so dumb. She's 20. She's so naive and stupid. She doesn't know what she's saying. But what she's saying is really cool and based, actually. And it's everyone else who's the problem. It's crazy. Crazy stuff. But you can see the level of cope. People going after Mia. She's been speaking out about this. Sega's allowing this, Sega's allowing that. She acts like she was unfairly kicked from the program, which was like 2 weeks ago, and yet is still upset about it. I don't care if it was 2 weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, a year ago. You still have a very valid reason to be upset about being unfairly removed from a program. But anyways, don't allow racist or transphobes in the program, and this is footage of her being both. And I look at the accounts doing this stuff, and they're arguing with someone, and they say, I hope you live a great life while Trump dies a horrible death from a Republican like Charlie Kirk. Why do you think this person is defending Ems? It's because they supports what they're saying. 100%. You can see people arguing, right? And they say, you're going to ruin a charity event. Oh. Again, it's the weaponizing of the charity event, using it as a shield and saying, how dare you? How dare you try to criticize someone who's involved in a charity event? You're going to hurt the charity event. You're a bad person. Completely removing accountability. Also, as I said earlier, if you care about a charity event, don't invite people who are bloodthirsty and are going to make a divisive event. Because people, they don't want to support an event, even if it's for charity, if it involves someone as diabolical as that. We got 5 more from Miyasu saying, won't be attending the Sonic stream tomorrow because of all of this. It's best to donate directly to St. Jude. And that is, I saw that you donated. That's a great thing. You can still donate to the charity. That's still a great thing. St. Jude is still a great cause. But like I said, just because it's a good cause doesn't mean you should allow people in the event that are always acting crazy and are so divisive that it's actually hurting the event itself. It's a really terrible situation. And, it's hard not to get a little like black-pilled about this because this is such a cut and dry situation where it should be handled 100%. It should be done, right? Nobody should be allowed to act this way and be a featured creator at a big event like this. And no co-host should be co-signing this stuff. Yeah, they use the charity as an excuse. And I guarantee you, if someone like Miyasu was involved with a charity event or whatever, they wouldn't care. They would want her gone. Right? It's just such cognitive dissonance. It's so disingenuous. But like I said, they're not even trying. But that's really that's what's happening so far. Tomorrow's the events. What's going to happen? We're going to have to wait and see. But let me catch up on the supers here. Kirain with the 5 saying, never forget your best friend Sonic says, show Miyasu some support. That is exactly what Sonic said. He just texted me. He said, support Miyasu. Yeah. It happened, guys. It's real. Sonic based. Wow. Yo, and Rick, thank you for the Giga Reveling membership. Thank you very much for that. Dinner's almost ready. Well, I am wrapping up, Straub. Thank you. W. Straub. Thank you for your membership. And Mr. King with the 5 saying, shareholders of SpaceX and Elon Musk himself, thank him for subscribing to Twitter Premium. Yes. Many, 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 many such cases. But hey, they got to make them Twitter bucks, right? All like $5 a month they get from ad revenue. Totally worth it. Totally gaming the system. They're playing Elon Musk at this point. But ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to do it for this stream. I did not expect a 2-hour long stream. Oh, holy yapathon, ladies and gentlemen. I thought this was going to be a quick one. But thank you so much for showing up today. Thank you guys for your memberships, the gifted memberships, supers. But most importantly, thank you for being here, taking time out of your day to hang out with the chat. And thank you. Oh. One last one. Phantom with the 5, if it plays. I clicked it too many times. There we go. Saying, WStream, thank you again for the stream. I hope you have a tasty dinner. I will. It's Straub. She's an amazing cook. But thank you so much, Phantom, for the additional 5. But you guys, I hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or night. And demon time. With the 2 saying, watch them bring up Mia being here as a dunk. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that is something that's brought up. They can't help themselves. And Remniarch, our trusted moderator, with the 3 Canadian bucks with the sticker and a cool profile picture. Thank you for the 3, and thank you for your service to the stream. WMods. But again, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. God bless you all. And I will see you very soon. Peace!
Oots.